So as you might know, Apple releases new phones every year. So as every year, the rumors have been going on and on. What's going to be included, what's not going to be included in the new phone. And an designer named Arthur Rice, he released a new iPhone 7 concept that he calls, pretty much summing up all the rumors we've had so far. So the 3.5 millimeter, it's a lot thinner than the 6S. It looks a bit with the antennas on the back, so it looks a bit design-wise as a 6S. But
a little bit squarer.
Yeah, the edges are squarer. There's also rumors going around about the dual camera.
Yeah, that would be something cool though, because some people thought it was for the 3D, so you could do like a Nintendo DS kind of thing, 3DS with the two cameras and make like 3D pictures. But for sure that won't be the case. I'm thinking more of like HTC did something similar like a year or two ago, where they had two cameras on the back, one for depth of field and helping for the focus. And I'm pretty sure Apple will do the same thing with the iPhone 7. So more depth of field, probably faster focus, less focus hunting when it's too dark or something like that. So that would be probably the way to go.
You're a better camera reference than I am. My only camera is my iPhone.
Yeah, kids these days with only their iPhones.
So the iPhone 7 will only be released this fall, but coming a little bit sooner, rumored next week or the week after, is the iPhone 5 SE. So I think Alex is going to explain us a little bit what it's supposed to be, or rumored to be.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much an iPhone 5. So let's say you take an iPhone 5 and you remove the edge, the chamfered edge, and instead you put like a aluminum that is softened and rounder on the sides. So you still keep a relatively rectangular shape, but with rounder edges and something that's more similar of a iPhone 4 with a bumper, if you want. That's similar to what the rumors are talking about. We had a few reference design leaked by different case manufacturers, but today we learned that they were actually not the same thing. So there's at least two designs that's currently out in the wild. Which one is the real one, we don't know. Yeah, so it's basically same thing. The camera lens, instead of being inside the device like the iPhone 5, it will be outside like the 6 and 6S. Same button layout, same SIM card layout, just rounder. Yeah, and also the colors. Yeah, it'll be like pink, gold, and the white and the space gray as usual.
So they're not going out the crazy colors like they did like the 5C?
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to keep the same four colors we already have for the 6 and 6S.
And I think they're predicting that they're going to run the A8 chip instead of the A9. So basically the guts of the 6, not the 6S.
That would make some sense. Cut a little bit on the cost. The A8 was still a very good chip, so it's not like if it's going to be like a 3 or 4 years old chip. So that's a good thing.
If they'd release it next March or April with an A9 and the 4-inch screen, I think I'd almost get that over the big 4.7 inch. Or is it? Yeah.
Yeah, because you have a 6, I have a 6S Plus.
The Plus Club.
And yeah, I'm the Plus Club. Yeah, Mike was right. At first, I was like, I tested the iPhone 6S Plus as my first, last year, the iPhone 6 Plus, for a review I did for Branchez-vous. And I hated it. It was way too big. Coming from a 5S to a 6 Plus, it was the gap was like too huge. But having had an iPhone 6 for a year, now from the 6 to the 6X Plus, much easier. The jump is like almost natural. If I take my wife's iPhone 6 and try to do something with it, it's way too small. My thumbs are way too big for the keyboard. So yeah, of course I cannot use only one hand. So that's something I lost. But I would say that since October I have it. So it's basically like a 4 full month. I won't go back to a 6 size, even a 4-inch. For sure, no, never.
I really like the 4-inch, and I don't see the need for the bigger screen. I'd rather have the one-handed option than have the bigger screen. Even though I have an hour commute in the train there, morning and night, I'd go back.
Have you tried one since using your 6, like for let's say an hour or something?
Yeah, my brother had one. I use that sometimes.
Okay, and you would still go down.
Well, I really like the square edges too, and like I said, I don't mind about the size. Well,
okay. One thing we saw also a few weeks ago was another designer who did a design. Sean Nielsen was his name. He invented kind of a puck, which is very similar to the Apple Watch charging puck that would actually be used in the iPhone 7 for replacing the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So it's basically just a round puck into which you plug your regular headphones, and they would automatically become wireless and Bluetooth. So that's kind of an idea to help with the transition if you want. For whoever does not have wireless headphones, they could still use that little puck that Apple would of course sell you separately, and they would appear as a Bluetooth device in your iPhone, the same way that regular Bluetooth speakers or headphones appear.
But we're still guessing that the new phone's going to come with Bluetooth wireless headphones in the box. Like now they offer the 3.5, the white headphones you see everywhere.
I'm sure they won't include some wireless. It will be way too expensive.
You think? So it'd be the first iPhone to come with no headphones?
I think so, yes. No headphones. And if you really want something wireless with your existing headphones, you'll have an accessory to buy. But I think Apple will bring back the in-ear earbuds that were... I don't know if they still sell them, but they're going to bring those back, and they're going to transform them to be Bluetooth. I'm pretty sure about that.
To be more... they're going to take the technology from Beats?
Most probably, yeah. Because they're more expensive than the regular white from your iPhone box earbuds, and because of the price difference, they can probably squeeze in some Bluetooth technology in there. So I guess next year you're aiming more for a SE and not the 7.
We're gonna see when I'm gonna have it in my hands. I'll play with it in the store a lot and everything, but it's something I'm gonna strongly consider.
Okay. Are you going to pull us a CGP Grey and buy one, then return it and buy the total opposite?
No, I don't make millions on YouTube yet.
No? Oh, jeez. One other news that was quite fun recently was the new 1Password families feature. It's the same thing as the 1Password for Teams, but instead of being for like an office that shares vault, it's for your families. So you can actually set up for $5 a month, up to 5 family members on your account, and you can easily share, let's say, a vault for the Netflix password, the Wi-Fi password, stuff like that, so that this vault is shared across all the members, and they can each have their own vault with their own password. So, and there's also a special promotion going on until March 21st. So if you subscribe right now, you can get 2 free months, so $10 on your account. And you can even double the amount for secure storage for documents. And you can even add 2 extra family members on top of your existing 5 that comes with the plan. So total of 7 family members.
Have you tried it yet?
I haven't tried it. I subscribed to it just so I can get the promotion. Okay. But with my daughter, that's now 13 years old, and she's starting her internet life, if you want. I'm trying to give her the good habits right away, like good password with 1Password install. So we'll have to set up something like that with her own vault and our shared family vault. So something I'm going to do in the following weeks for sure.
I'm trying to convince my girlfriend, but she won't switch.
Does she have the same password everywhere?
Do I have to answer that question?
Yeah, we always did. I even have like a bunch of my 1Password that are very old forums that I use my old password that I used everywhere. So I still have to go through those and actually update them eventually if the site still exists. But at least since I've moved from LastPass to 1Password a few years ago, every site since then and every sites I go back to regularly, they all have like 32 characters, alphanumerical and symbol passwords. So it's a lot more safer.
Yeah, the 1Password has a nice feature in the security audit on the toolbar. Well, the toolbar on the left, you can have duplicate passwords, and it lists all the logins you have that have similar passwords. You can also check by age, the age of the password, and the watchtower. It basically tells you if the site's been vulnerable or if there's been leaks of the password database or something.
Yeah, that's a must-have feature, so you should probably activate it if you have not done it so yet. So another news that came out today regarding DisplayPort 1.4, the future standard for DisplayPort will use a new compression. So instead of having a maximum output of 4K 60 Hz, you can have 8K at 60 Hz with no noticeable visual compression artifacts or whatever. So same visual quality, quadruple the bandwidth, or you can get a 4K at 120 Hz. So that's pretty crazy. That will for sure be on the next Mac, I guess, next MacBook Pro, next Mac Pro if they eventually refresh it. Yeah, eventually.
So is 2016 going to be the year we're going to see the Retina Thunderbolt display?
I'm pretty sure that it has to, for sure. Especially now, well, I think it was put on pause, but Foxconn tried to acquire Sharp. Right. And they had a great technology for the screen that we actually saw in the App Store for a while. The big 32-inch Sharp display that was like $300 or $400. So yeah, if Foxconn can actually finish this deal, they would be in the best possible place to put out like new Thunderbolt display with actual IGZO displays. Great quality, great refresh rate, color balance, everything. And a lot thinner, of course, because those big Thunderbolt displays are now pretty huge.
What other computer in the current lineup will be able to power the Retina display, the Retina Thunderbolt display?
It depends on the CPUs. The next Intel chips, the onboard GPU will be able to crank out 4Ks for sure. So it's just a matter of Intel finally shipping those. And Apple will probably be one of the first to refresh this line. Most probably the MacBook Pros, for sure.
Right.
And MacBook Air, I would say they should do like a one event with these two at least. Mac Pro will probably take a bit more time because for this kind of a machine, you usually have like the Xeon chips in those. And those usually come out maybe a few months after the regular consumer chips. MacBook, it would be the best, but I'm not sure if it's gonna come out at the same time. But for sure, MacBook Pro and MacBook Air for me are gonna get the new chips very fast. Be able to crank out 4K displays, new Thunderbolt displays with 4K. Yeah, that would be sweet.
Yeah, the Skylake update is maybe going to be announced next week or the week after at the next Apple event.
Yep. Which they say should be the 21st, I think. That's what the rumor says.
The rumor says that the date change of the rumored date, so...
Yeah, that was something. You are also running, I guess, the iOS 9.3 betas on your daily phone, I guess?
Daily driver.
And you don't like it, right? Night shift?
Night shift I like. Flux was too yellow, too intense for my taste.
Too intense. And have you tried it like for more than a few minutes?
I've tried it. I tried it one day. I just find the Flux is a lot red compared to the night shift that's yellow.
And what did you do when you tried it on? You like web browsing, moving?
I use Instapaper a lot in bed at night before going to sleep. Instapaper is already yellow, so it might be because with night shift it's just more yellow, so even lighter. But with Flux it was kind of red red with yellow was orangey wasn't really nice to read.
I think that's why I love it and you don't. I usually watch movies when I go to sleep, so it's usually like Arrow or DC Legends of Tomorrow, stuff that are pretty dark at times. So on the dark background or dark image, I find Flux actually better. The flashes are actually less irritating for my eyes. But I've never read white or white-ish background, so that's probably why I prefer Flux from the Night Shift. Night Shift for me is way too yellow, not strong enough. So the irritation I get from my eyes when watching like a movie at night, it's still not enough for Night Shift. I would probably maybe 30% more would be the best, and I could probably play around in the last 10 to 20% to get my sweet spot. But right now it's still too yellow, not enough orangey kind of thing.
Okay, so you see, when I watch a video at night, I turn off Night Shift because I don't like watching videos with the yellow display. So I do that through Control Center, and that's not possible through Flux. So that's another annoyance too. You constantly have to open the app to open the feature and turn on the feature, compared to Night Shift where it's right there in Control Center.
Yeah, it's a pain, and it also takes one icon spot on my homepage. So
on the homepage?
Yeah, because I use it every night. So my logic is whatever is on my homepage is what I use every day. And I have as few as possible in terms of folders. I've got one for social sites and one for camera stuff, but the rest are all individual icons. So I really need a special spot just for Flux.
Okay, I can't do folders on the home screen.
So only icons. And what goes to your second page? Whatever you use every day?
The second page is all folders. Except the two bottom rows are just apps, and the rest is all folders. I use Spotlight a lot because it's just a bunch of folders with multiple pages, so I don't remember exactly where the app is.
Okay. You see, that's something I was doing before having the iPhone 6s Plus. But now, usually the first result is the good one, and it's far too high to reach.
Okay.
And the way I set up my icons on my homepage is most of the ones on the bottom are what I use multiple times a day. And the top half is Google Maps, which I don't use every day necessarily, more than once a day. So this way I don't have to reach to the top of the screen. But having Spotlight Search, I have to reach my thumb or my second hand to the first result, so it's a pain. So I don't use Spotlight anymore.
You can always use your nose,
Yeah, the nose works, yes. Talking about nose, have you tried to play Pong on your Apple Watch?
The pad doesn't move exactly smooth.
No, I don't. It's probably the watch that still has issues with its processing power, because Pong is quite a small game usually, but in this case it's working. But I find the pad to be jerking sometimes.
Right.
Or actually not moving and then moving quickly just to pick up. So it's not the best thing.
What's your best score? Oh,
geez. I actually stopped after 4 or 5. I consider that I beat the computer. And
4 or 5? I have 14.
But it never stops, right?
No, yeah.
It goes on and on?
Right.
Okay, well, after 5, I have my dose and I just do something else. One thing that I was usually doing on other Pong games is whenever you hit the ball while moving your paddle, that would change the angle, and you would hit the ball and it would hit more aggressively.
Right.
But in this game it doesn't work. So.
Yes, it does.
Not really.
I'm playing right now. It does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to try again.
It puts spin in it, like when you play tennis and you can chop the ball.
Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, I'll try again. Have you watched the most recent Tim Cook versus the FBI saga?
No, I haven't. I have it in Instapaper. I didn't watch it yet.
Okay. I tried a few minutes of that C-SPAN Senate hearing, and I don't know. It's just crazy. The one of the senator was always asking Apple's lawyer for what do you want us to do? You said you don't want us to open the security on the iPhones, but what do you want us to do? And I don't know if it's really the Apple lawyer's job to say, here's what you have to do, or more the senator to actually say what they should do. But it's kind of like running around in circles, shooting blame left and right. I don't know what's going to be the ending for this saga, but it's getting crazy, I think.
A lot of companies are coming out and backing Apple this week, especially.
No, they have to, because they're next.
I know. Microsoft, Google, I saw Snapchat. I think Facebook pretty openly admitted that they're supporting Apple.
Yeah, they have to.
The only problem is even if they win in court, they're not going to win in the what people call like people's court. Like, just for example, my dad thinks that Apple should just unlock the phone, give it to the FBI. It's the FBI. They're not going to do anything wrong. We should help the authority with. But when I explained what it implies, that you're trying to create a precedent and everything, then he was like, oh, so maybe not.
Yeah, that's the thing that I found pretty weird this time. Well, it's usually not the case, but they always use those cases as a precedent for future cases. But like a week ago, they were saying, the FBI was saying that they were not going to use this case as a precedent, which makes no sense. They keep bringing back laws from the 70s and from the 60s to try to get more private data, like be it from phones or from providers. And now this time they would not do the same thing. I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. And I also heard that a bunch of police stations already lined up saying that we have like 20 phones we want you to unlock. So if they open the door, it's going to be a real Pandora box, and they won't be able to control that for sure. And as you know, probably one of these guys will leak the software in the wild. And what's going to happen? Some hackers will get their hands on it. And it will just be hell. The phone won't be able to be safe anymore for any data.
And they're talking about adding a backdoor in iOS also. So anytime they can just flip the switch and see what's happening on other people's phone.
Yeah, they did the same thing for BlackBerry and the India government. They were asking for the master key for the encryption, and they went in court. It did not last as long as the debacle with Apple and FBI, and they actually gave the key to the government. So that was a while back, man. I would say maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, because BBM was one of the first to be fully encrypted, and it was one of the key features of being private and safe.
Yeah. Other thing that's not safe anymore, a medical device, pacemakers, stuff like that. Most of them are getting on board with wireless communication, be it Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. And you can understand why. If you put something in your chest, you don't really want to open it every 3 months to change the battery or to do some software updates. But the bad thing about that is that they're actually pretty lazy. The companies making those devices, they usually rely on no password at all, or some generic password that's the same for every device for the same model. So just guessing the password. Some of them you can even do that. Some of them don't allow it, but you just refer to the user manual, a quick Google search, and you can actually control the device from a distance. And Bluetooth Wi-Fi can be a few meters. So what happens when hackers actually get their hands on that? Well, something that's called ransomware. If you don't do this, or if you don't give me this amount of money, they're going to turn off your pacemaker or actually activate it and give your heart a shock or something like that. So that's pretty scary.
You heard that on a podcast, I think, right?
I heard on a podcast, and I worked for a contract a few months ago with a guy who's actually has lots of experience in the medical field with wireless device and everything. And he says, whatever I heard, whatever I've read, it's much worse than that. It's actually like password is like 0000, and that's it. You can like basically guess most of the standard password, kind of like with the admin password on your router. So it's awful, and they won't do nothing about it, I guess, until they actually have some documented case of people dying because of ransomware. If I had a pacemaker, I would be pretty worried. Talking about personal medical device.
Nice transition.
What about you? Yeah. What about your other personal device? The one that's on you every day?
My phone.
No, the other one.
The one on my wrist, the Apple Watch. So we both have one. We send each other a lot of sketches.
Well, we used to, at the beginning when we had
for the first day.
Yeah, and then that was done.
It's every time somebody gets a new watch at work or whatnot, it lasts a day. They send me a bunch of heartbeats. I don't even bother replying anymore. We send us a couple of sketches when we're in meetings, but that's pretty much it.
And I think actually the last few times you sent me sketches, it was just to show somebody else.
It's always to show somebody else. So what can you do with your Apple Watch? You can send sketches and...
Yeah, that's probably like the most common thing you can do just to show people. It's a show-off feature. It's not really useful. I don't see me using that like very often. Yeah, so that's not what I use my watch for. Right now, I use it mainly for the stand-ups, for the blue circle. Just trying to feel my rings. Usually it goes quite well, but let's say for a specific week, I'm actually more active, then it's going to propose me a new calories goal, and then the next week I would probably won't hit it because I rarely have the same type of week one week after the other. So if I work more from home, then I walk less. If I work more from the office, then I walk more. So that's something that I probably should try to keep the same level every time. But then again, it's if I get just a bit too easy, I'm gonna get all my circles. How about you? Did you get your full circles every day, or?
Yeah, so me too. The main feature I use from the watch is the activity rings. I get my full circles if I go in for work, because I walk about 40 minutes. So I get my exercise in, and usually I can hit my calories by the end of the day when I come back home.
Okay. And you actually always start a workout?
Yeah, I always start a outdoor walk.
Okay.
Every time I start walking.
Do you see a difference if you start a workout or not?
I always start the workout, so I don't see no difference.
Yeah, I never do that. It's on my wrist and it just stays there. What's sad is if for one day I forget it at home, I don't really miss it much. Of course, I probably won't stand up as much, but notifications, when I got my Apple Watch, I was actually pretty low on notifications, but now with the watch, it's even lower. So I get tweetbot notifications, text message, and a few emails from Start Contact, but that's it.
Okay, I don't let emails through.
Yeah, but just like a few people, so it's basically maybe one a day.
Oh, your VIP list?
Yes, my VIP list.
I don't have that set up.
I was hoping that I could use the glance more, but just the refresh, which is never happening in the background on my Apple Watch, it's just like too cumbersome to wait for the thing to turn up for like 20 seconds or actually open the app and look. I just don't use it. I use it to turn the sound on or off, and I sometimes use the overcast glance to change to fast forward or go backward. But other than that, I have my bank account configured, but whenever I open it, it's always like 2 or 3 refresh before I get the data, if I get the data. So it's not reliable at all. So
okay, I like I have a complication set for the weather. So I use that a lot before going out for lunch or just in the morning while I'm getting dressed.
But is it up to date? Or when you tap on it, you open the app and you see the different number?
No, I just use a complication, so it's always on my screen.
But it's up to date? Because I tried the same thing with Meteo Media, Weather Network here, and it was not very reliable.
The complication itself or the glance?
The complication.
What do you mean not reliable?
Let's say I look at my watch, it's minus 3 degrees. I find it weird because it's actually much colder to me. I tap on it to open the app. Oh, it's minus 20 degrees. So that was probably the number from the day before or 12 hours ago. I don't know when it refreshed, but it was not up to date.
Okay, mine is pretty accurate. I just use the default weather app. It's almost... when I get in my car, I have the temperature also. It's pretty much always the same as the one on my watch.
Maybe Apple did it better than Weather Network then. All right, so I think that will be it for this first podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to reach us, you can go on hipsterpixel.co/RGB. That's the podcast page. You'll see all the different shows over there. Or for this specific show, for the show notes, you can go to hipsterpixel.co/RGB/0. And you can find us on Twitter. I'm Valia, VALLIERES.
And I'm Tyler, TYLER, Menard, MENARD.
All right, so see you next time.
See you next time.